Hey, you freaking Beatuses. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Premeire Edition, Transformers Last Night, Leader Class Megatron. And as you can see, he's not here because I transformed him into jet mode, and his jet mode is freaking huge, and I can't get it into frame if I want to show the whole package. And I want to stay original to my format where I don't go from the vehicle mode to the robot mode. It's the whole big thing. So, here's Megatron, there at the bottom. There's a picture of him. Transformers Last Night, Transformers Premeire Edition. On the side here, it says Leader Class. On the back, it shows he transforms in 30 steps. His jet mode, his robot mode, and his face-changing gimmick. Woo! And then over here is a small bio. Let's get in on that. And it says, Megatron will never waver in his quest to revive the civilization that once thrived on Cybertron. As he returns once again, the Decepticon will stop at nothing until he has fulfilling his devious schemes, decimated all hope, and taken revenge on his ultimate nemesis, Optimus Prime. And speaking of Optimus Prime, oh whoops, you've seen the signs. Here, jump. Woo! You can buy the crappy Leader Class from Age of Extinction once again! But without the chrome! Yay! So here's Megatron in his freaking huge jet mode. And he has some stability problems. I'm not sure what's wrong here. Maybe it's that. I don't freaking know. Whatever. He's a freaking jet. And yes, unfortunately, this has the problem. Luckily, mine's not as bad as I've seen it on some people's Megatrons. Sometimes they just touch it just a little bit and the whole thing pops open. Mine, what you have to do to get this in really tight is down under here. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. There. So in here, I can't, there it is. This is the little thing that locks these in place. And these are on super tight springs. Frick. They're on really tight springs. And right there, I think that's where it pegs in. Oh wait, no, it's right there on the cannon part. It tabs in right there. And it's kind of bent downwards, and it's not bent down. The tab isn't very long, so that's your problem there. Unfortunately, it doesn't hold very well because of the tightness of the springs and the weird little nub not being very long. So what I do is I bring it in and I kind of push down on it so that that little tab goes into that hole a little more. And then you have to come up here and make sure you squeeze these nose cone sections together. That's where most of the seal will come. So yeah, he's pretty freaking huge. And he has some cyberglyphs on here. I don't know what the frick they say, but it's nice. And they're molded. I like how they're molded, and they have paint on here. The paint apps are one of the best things about this. You know, some people really don't like, you know, like this silver wash on here. Some parts it's done okay. I think the cannon on here is where the dry brush works the best, but whatever. So yeah, he's got nice molded detail and blah blah blah. And he has a little cockpit, and you can't fit a Titan Master in there, unlike Decepticon Nitro. And we'll do size comparisons in a second. We just have to get into the couple weapon storage stuff. So here's his sword. It's nice. Whatever. And you peg it in just up top like that. And then you tab in these little flame effects here. And that's nice. It reminds me of the old 2007 Megatron. The actual figure didn't come with flame effects, but the in the movie, when he transformed and he turned into his jet, he kind of had this huge explosion of flames. And it was kind of cool. So it was like, psh, shooting out flames. So this is roughly 18 inches across with the flame effects added from nose to the flame effect. And that's freaking ridiculous. So, we'll just take these out. And these are about the size of your deluxe class transformer. Like, this is Barricade. It's almost as freaking tall as him. That's insane. So, yeah. So, size comparisons. Let's do some. I only have my jets transformed right now. Some of my jet transformers. So, here is his little buddy, Nitro Zeus. And there they are together. And I can't even get that in frame. So, I don't know how I'm going to do the next one. And that next one is my only other leader class jet. That being Hunt for the Decepticon Starscream. And this is a beautiful figure. I didn't appreciate it as much as I did as a little kid, but I've grown to love this thing, and I'm very, very fortunate to have one of these. So yeah. So you can just see the size difference here. I mean, Megatron, of course, is longer because, well, he's a much different kind of jet. But this is a lot heavier thanks to the electronics. Back when they actually knew how to engineer electronics and still sell it for the price of $40. When this freaking thing is $50. And that's without tax. So that's insane. So let's transform this freaking thing. So what you do is you take off the sword, come up here, and fold the landing gear in. Wings. Wings are probably the easiest part. And we'll get rid of a lot of crazy stuff going on. So you fold them up, you untab them from the legs, and they just kind of fold up like this. And then it splits here from this section, and we'll move the rest of it down. And then you take this little thruster part, move it in, fold down this triangle piece thing, and then this should, if you have this pushed in enough, it'll just slot in there. And then you rotate it around like so until it's all the way to the back. And then you do the same thing on this side. Like so. And then you just angle them in and make them all flat like that. And now he's kind of a weird black stick. And yes, that does not sound good. Okay, and then you unpeg the legs. And they're kind of on a weird hinge. Well, not really a hinge, but there's a little peg hole up in there. And the peg, well, the tab that it goes into goes up into it. And so you push down on it, and then you move it. Oh, frick. This came off. Where did you come from? Okay, there. And then the legs. You fold in these little thruster pieces on both legs, and these will form his heels. And then those little tail fin pieces come up and kind of seal up the legs so that they're not hollow, which I do like. Okay, then the underside. You kind of move this whole chest piece out of the way and kind of bring it down. And if you haven't already, it's probably best if you just, well, release this. What the frick? Whatever. And then we'll extend that later. Come up into here, and there's a little panel. And you push up on that panel so that it kind of releases everything in here. So that frees up a lot of stuff. And then it's just kind of tug-of-war here with each arm. You have to pull this part away, just that one little gold part, because this is one arm, and then this is one arm. And then to continue transformation, you kind of untab this little gold piece. But don't pull it like you did with this one, because that'll just break your Megatron. And then you swivel out the arms, like so. And then you come down under here, and then there's his fist in there, and you just push it out, fold it up with the little flap that we had in vehicle mode, and just bring it down, come back down around here, swivel this down, and you come in here, and now that that piece is untabbed, all you do is you bring this forward, then bring it back on that double hinge, and then kind of push it, and that'll push out his hand, and then you can release that, pull that down, and then come down here to the back, lift it up on a hinge, fold out the head, and accordion this whole piece up, and kind of make sure he's all nice and good. Gotta make him look nice for the ladies out there. I mean, let's be honest, who's Megatron gonna date? Freaking Slipstream? I don't know. There is Megatron in his freaking robot mode, and he is freaking huge. So here's some size comparisons with Megatron. Here's good old Nitro Zeus, and I'm knocking over my freaking poster board. Oh my goodness. There he is with Nitro Zeus, and I bent the legs on here because that's how I like him to look in the movie. And there you go. And here are the deluxe Decepticons. So who we got here? That means Berserker. And I don't like the heels on this one very much. Berserker. And Barricade. Come on, Barricade. What the frick did you just drop? You dropped your weird Rodney King stick thing. There you go. And it will bring in Nitro here. Because, well, you know, you gotta have whole Decepticon crew. I want my crew. So there are all the Decepticons, retail Decepticons. I don't have Infernicus because, you know, I live 3 hours away from the closest Toys R Us. And I only get to go there probably once a month. And in addition to that, the Toys R Us's aren't very good, so yeah. And then the final comparison is Premeire. So there's Starscream. And then the legs. There you go. So Megatron rules the day that Starscream is bigger than him. Do it yourself. What is my life anymore, people? What is my life? So yeah, let's get back to Megatron. He's freaking awesome. He can have his freaking sword thing like that. He's like whoosh. Yeah. Or he can store it on his back. Like so. That's freaking dumb. And then you can put the flame effects in his cannon. So you can be like whoosh. And then it'll be like bending over, and then you can just throw this thing here, and then it'll be like on it. He's like whoosh, and then Barricade can come in, and he's like whoosh. Oh, Megatron just found the freaking talisman. Without the talisman, oh, get that out of my face. Oh, without the talisman, we cannot find the stuff. Oh. Jeez, this is a trashy review. What is wrong with me? So yeah, like you just saw, he does have the face-changing gimmick, and I don't have fingernails, and my Megatron, each joints are disgustingly tight.
Tight, yeah!
Even the leg joints, which people have a problem with, are somewhat tight. The elbows are freaking tight. The shoulders are tight. So, I have to end up using his weird little thing there. And then that unlocks it. And then you can fold it up. So yeah, that's actually nice. I love this head sculpt. This head sculpt is way better than the Voyager. The Voyager, honestly, I hate the head sculpt on the Voyager. It looks weird and uncomfortable. So, yeah. Why the frick won't my camera focus? there you go. So yeah, you can change it and whatever you want to do with it. I don't know. So for articulation, he has in and out at the leg. His leg is on a universal joint and has ratchets when you move it forward and back. Bend at the knee, swivel here. Kind of weird foot movement. He's got a pivot, so that's always nice. So he has full 360 here, in and out, swivel at the bicep, and bend at the elbow. And then he has gorilla arms. Doesn't bother me that much. I've gotten used to gorilla arms before. So guys, are you freaking kidding me? You freaking love this thing, even though this has gorilla arms. I mean, he has gorilla arms in the movie, so whatever. And then he's got a weird little swivel at the fist. And then on this arm, basically the same thing. It just is a lot more clunky with the cannon. And then he has a head swivel. So he's limited in articulation, but it's not super bad. So yeah, Megatron. He's a pretty good figure. I'd recommend him. I don't have the Voyager, so I don't really have a solid opinion on which one is better. Also, I wish I could do a size comparison with Voyager Optimus Prime, but I did not get that figure when it came out, and that's bad, because in my area, holy frick, people went bat frick crazy over that Optimus Prime, and now there are no Optimus Primes in my area. So yeah, I recommend this Megatron. He's pretty awesome, and the cannon is okay. So yeah, and as always, don't believe the news, don't believe the hype. Spaghetti.